Hey, what's up guys? Bo HD here from PhoneDog.com. Hope you guys are doing well. Now, last week, OnePlus announced the OnePlus 7T, which at first glance seems like a successor to the OnePlus 7 Pro in a similar way that the OnePlus 6T succeeded the OnePlus 6. But that's actually not true with the OnePlus 7T. Yes, there are some slight spec bumps and added features with the 7T, but some features have been removed to bring the starting price down to $599, which is about $100 less than the base model 7 Pro. However, some features have also been added, so it's kind of a weird device because it has some new features that the 7 Pro doesn't have, but it also doesn't have some that the 7 Pro does have. Kind of weird. Let's explain. So I've had this phone in my possession for almost a week now, so I have a pretty good idea as to what the main selling points are for this device, but I do want to give a shout out to OnePlus for the beautiful packaging with the reviewer's guide. The way the box opens up and how everything is displayed, it just looks really, really good. The only reason I even mention it is because it seems like OnePlus actually really cares and wants their devices to be well received. And just do well. They spend the money to have someone design the packaging and materials to make for a good first impressions, which is honestly very important in a crowded smartphone market. Okay, now this is the OnePlus 7T. It comes in a glacier blue or frosted silver color option. The two starkest design elements here are the 3 camera lenses on the rear, an ultra-wide, standard, and telephoto sensor, which come in this rounded new design, and the flat 2D display, which does not curve on the sides like the OnePlus 7 Pro. Other than that, the overall size of the device is just about the same. It's quite tall compared to, say, the newer iPhone 11 or 11 Pro. There's the notification slider in a similar place, but it's quite a bit smaller in size. And the volume rocker on the opposite side, the left side of the phone, has been moved down further on the side of the phone, so it might be a little bit easier to press. And there is no pop-up selfie camera because the 7T restores the teardrop notch found in the OnePlus 6T, but the notch is about 32% smaller, so that's pretty nice to see. Last thing I want to say about the design is that the back glass panel appears frosted, which looks great, but it's way slippier, so you'll probably want to use that included case in the box or just buy one of the more stylish premium cases from the OnePlus store. The AMOLED display remains to be excellent upon first impressions. However, it is slightly smaller than the 7 Pro and it has a slightly lower 1080 by 2400 pixel resolution or 402 pixel per inch index. But I would still say pixel clarity is still very strong. And what's neat to see is the 90 Hz refresh rate continue to make its appearance here with this cheaper device. So you're gonna have noticeably smoother menus and scrolling, and just content will look smoother and more lifelike than traditional smartphone displays. I think the curved edges of the 7 Pro are great. They definitely make the device feel more pricey, expensive, luxurious, but they are definitely not necessary. You still get very thin side bezels with the 7T. What's incredibly impressive to see is the 7T running Android 10 out of the box, when Android 10 was only officially released last month. OnePlus has a fantastic track record for delivering timely updates and supporting their older devices with new software updates, so that should be taken into consideration when looking for a new smartphone. I get a lot of really attractive budget devices in the studio, and while the specs and features to price ratio is fantastic, more often than not, those devices don't receive timely updates or don't receive updates at all, which makes them less secure, first of all, but also makes them not last quite as long. In terms of performance, the 7T is packing the new Snapdragon 855 Plus CPU with 8GB of RAM and 128GB of internal storage in the base model, with support for the new Universal File System 3.0 technology to improve app installation speeds and file transfers. There's not much more I could say besides the fact that this phone is really fast. There are 3 camera sensors on the rear, and they're nearly identical to the OnePlus 7 Pro. You have a 48 megapixel f1.6 main sensor, 12 megapixel f2.2 telephoto sensor, and 16 megapixel f2.2 ultra wide sensor. So the hardware is very similar to the 7 Pro, but OnePlus says they've further refined image processing to improve image quality. And one of the coolest new features I think OnePlus is touting, in my opinion, is the new macro mode, which lets you snap a shot from as little as 2.5 centimeters away from your subject, allowing you to capture some incredible detail. I think that's going to be a lot of fun to test out. Also, the Nightscape mode is available on the main and ultra wide lenses to produce brighter, clearer, and more dramatic photos in low light environments. Last but not least, video quality should be better. The 7T has this new hybrid image stabilization technology, which combines optical image stabilization with electronic image stabilization technology to reduce those bumps and shakes that you often encounter with video and just ultimately help capture smoother video. Moving on to the battery life, unfortunately, there's no wireless charging support, which I thought for sure would be in the successor to the OnePlus 7 Pro, because there is a glass back here along with the 7 Pro, which is needed to support wireless charging. It was missing in the 7 Pro, and I just figured, the glass back is there. It just makes sense that they're gonna add it, but they didn't add it, which is kind of sad. But hey, the battery is still pretty big. It's 3,800 milliamp hours, which is slightly smaller than the 7 Pro, but the 7 Pro's battery was good. It was very good, so I have high hopes for this device. But what's really exciting to see is it supports OnePlus's new Warp Charge 30T technology, which charges the 7T's battery to 70% from empty in just half an hour. That's insane. Other things to note, the in-display fingerprint scanner upon first impressions is really fast and reliable. It's possibly the fastest in-display fingerprint scanner I've ever used. Also, the stereo speakers, they sound pretty good. They did make a return. I'm not sure if it's the same drivers as the 7 Pro, but the top speaker grill, for what it's worth, is slightly larger than on the 7 Pro. So there you have it, the OnePlus 7T. It starts at $600 and has many of the same, if not better, specs and features than the flagships from Samsung and others. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button so that you'll be notified when our full review is live. And if you have any questions, just let me know in a comment down below and I'll do my best to answer them. As always, I'm BoHD from PhoneDoug.com. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you right back here in the next one. See ya.